Hello everyone, and welcome back. Now is time for the thing you have all been waiting for, the readings. Alright, before we move on though, I need to clarify some terminology before we move on. If you want terminology to have its own video, where I go more in depth, please comment below, because this will be a very basic run-through. At the beginning of the article, there will be an object class. This is a measure of how difficult containing the thing in question is. Safe means that it is easy to contain and requires minimal containment procedures. Euclid means that it is moderately difficult or unreliable to contain and requires some amount of effort to contain. Keter means that it is very hard to contain and requires complex procedures to contain. Obviously, I would be Keter. I'm going to get roasted in the comments for this one, am I? And finally, esoteric, which means none of the above. It has its own list of secondary classes. There are also other containment classes, but I don't have time to put it in this video. As previously mentioned, if you want a video on that subject, please comment below, although with the previous comment, I'm a bit less excited to check the comments. There are also things like redacted and data expunged in the article, which means that it has been removed from the article, or it is above your security clearance. So, when you hear this noise, this means that the data was supposed to go here, but was redacted or expunged. I will also go into depth about that in a different video. If you all want to see that video I previously mentioned, please comment below. Anyways, I guess it's time to finally get to the article. Item number: SCP-244. Object class: Euclid. Special containment procedures. When not in testing, SCP-244-1 is to be placed in a room with its own thermostat, kept at a temperature of no less than 38 degrees Celsius. This room must also have its own ventilation system to provide constant air circulation. SCP-244-1 will rest on top of a scale attached to an alarm, so that any abrupt changes in weight from SCP-244-1's cap, sudden removal, or from SCP-244's displacement may be immediately detected. If the alarm goes off, SCP-244-1 is to be immediately retrieved, capped, and placed back on the scale. In the event that SCP-244-1 spends longer than 4 hours uncapped and activate before retrieval is possible, initiate procedure 244-2123B. Description: SCP-244-1 is a Tunisian-style earthenware jar made of common chromatics mixed with traces of and decorated with silver filigree. The inside of SCP-244-1 will always have an internal temperature of negative 37 degrees Celsius and at 125% humidity, regardless of external conditions. Persons handling SCP-244-1 invariably describe it as cold to the touch. SCP-244-1 includes a cap of identical make and style to the jar itself. When SCP-244-1 is uncapped, concentrated water vapor will flow from its mouth. The rate at which the vapor emanates increases if SCP-244-1 is laying on its side or suspended upside down. It is identical in composition to ice fog, with a temperature of negative 37 degrees Celsius and a 125% humidity. as it exits SCP-244-1. Over time, this fog will disperse through whatever area SCP-244-1 is in, lowering ambient temperatures and raising humidity levels proportionally. The amount of time it takes for SCP-244-1 to fill an area with fog varies depending on the size of the space, the amount of moisture already in the air, and the temperature at the time of SCP-244-1's opening. If SCP-244-1 is left uncapped outside of any structure, it will still produce water vapor and lower the surrounding temperature. However, the effect may be considerably diminished or enhanced by the effects of the sun, wind, local topography, and/or local vegetation. In any space where SCP-244-1 has changed the environmental temperature and humidity to negative 37 degrees Celsius and a 125% humidity, there is a chance of encountering SCP-244-2 directly proportional to the amount of time that the area has been fogged over. SCP-244-2 is a mobile gaseous entity, visible only as a dense cloud of grayish fog. Whether it simply uses SCP-244-1's own fog as camouflage, or is actually a part of said fog, is still undetermined. Thermal imaging shows that SCP-244-2 is far colder than its surrounding environment. How SCP-244-2 achieves locomotion is not known, but testing and observation has made it clear that SCP-244-2 usually remains motionless, unless there is a source of heat nearby. SCP-244-2 achieves locomotion is not known, but testing and observation has made it clear that SCP-244-2 usually remains motionless, unless there is a source of heat nearby. SCP-244-2 is attracted to any source of heat energy and will move to envelop such sources. Because of SCP-244-2's own extraordinary cold internal temperature, any object that comes into direct contact with it usually flash freezes. Biological heat sources, including humans, are invariably killed by the flash freezing effect, and mechanical or electronic devices ice over. SCP-244-2 appears to grow in size as it consumes thermal energy. In a sufficiently large, secluded area, there may be multiple instances of SCP-244-2. SCP-244-2 will not attempt to consume heat sources with a temperature equal or greater than 600 degrees Celsius, and will actively move away from such sources if they are brought closer to it. For this reason, SCP-244-2 is easily repelled with burning wood or other combustive fuel fires. SCP-244-2 has been observed to disperse if exposed to great concentrations of heat in a short period of time. History: SCP-244-1 was first discovered in the basement of a recently emptied Chaos Insurgency occupied military base, where it had completely filled the basement level with ice fog, and at least 2 manifestations of SCP-244-2. It is unknown whether the Chaos Insurgency had placed SCP-244-1 in the basement as some sort of diversionary tactic, or if they themselves were looking for it. Addendum: whatever SCP-244-2 is composed of, it is certainly not normal water vapor. At those temperatures, mere water would surely become a solid, as indeed would most gases. However, taking samples of SCP-244-2's material has proven difficult, as it is both gaseous and freezes most devices applied to it. I suspect that this may be related to the in SCP-244-1. but studying that mineral has a host of problems all of its own. Dr. Morris. Well, I would say this is a pretty cool SCP, if you ask me. Alright, everyone. I hope you have a good day, or night, or whatever equivalent you have, and goodbye.